A very beautiful girl walks by from the front. She passes right beside us. We turn around to look at her, but at the same time she turns around to look at us. When our eyes meet hers, even though we don't want to, our gaze involuntarily lowers. We can't maintain eye contact with her for more than a few seconds. There is no conversation between us. I saw her, she saw me, but for even 3 seconds I couldn't make eye contact with her. This often happens in everyone's life, and it's not just about a beautiful woman. In life, there are many people with whom we can't have a full conversation even after making eye contact. Sometimes we say things we don't mean, and sometimes we don't say what we truly feel. It often feels like we have no control over ourselves at that moment. The interesting thing is that the person we're talking to could be our friend, our buddy, our parents, or even a stranger. They're not our enemies. Yet sometimes we can't maintain eye contact with them for long. If you've experienced this too, do share in the comments. In today's enlightening story, you'll understand both the cause and solution to this. Why does it happen and how can you prevent it? Before you get lost in this story, make sure to subscribe to this channel. So let's start the story. 2 weeks after the end of the monsoon season, a very beautiful woman came to meet Buddha. She was riding on a white chariot pulled by 2 white horses, accompanied by a young man around the age of 16. Her attire and demeanor were elegant and dignified in every way. She approached a young monk and requested him to take her to Buddha's cottage. When they arrived at the cottage, Buddha was not there as he was in deep meditation. The monk seated them on 2 chairs placed in front of Buddha's cottage. After a while, Buddha also arrived there along with his companions. Among them there were 3 disciples. Seeing Buddha, the woman and the young man respectfully rose and paid their respects to Buddha. Buddha, requesting them to sit, himself sat on the 3rd chair. They understood that the woman was Amrapali and the young man was King Bimbisara and Amrapali's son Jivak. But one of Buddha's disciples, Kalu Dai, was also standing. Kalu Dai had never seen such a beautiful woman in his life. He had just become a monk a month ago, and he couldn't understand whether a monk should even look at such a supremely beautiful woman or not. Finally, he lowered his eyes. The other disciples were in the same situation. While Kalu Dai sometimes looked at Amrapali and sometimes at Buddha, he observed how natural and gentle Buddha's gaze was. His face was as serene and beautiful as the moon. His gaze was compassionate and clear. Kalu Dai felt that Buddha's contentment and natural sense of joy had entered his own heart directly. On the other side, even Amrapali was gazing into Buddha's eyes. The way Buddha looked at her with an unwavering gaze, no one had ever seen her like that before. As far as she could remember, people would either get puzzled or feel as if his eyes were peering into their desires. But Buddha was looking at her in this unique way. Just as they used to admire clouds, rivers, or flowers, Amrapali felt that they could peep into the depth and understand the thoughts of her heart. She joined her hands and introduced herself and her son. "I am Amrapali, and this is my son Jivak, who is studying to become a doctor. We have heard a lot about you and wanted to meet you, which has now happened." Hearing this, Buddha asked Jivak about his studies and how his daily life was going. Jivak humbly answered these questions. Buddha understood that this young man was of a compassionate nature and also very talented. In Jivak's heart there was a feeling of respect and love towards Buddha. He said that when he completes his medical studies, he would also stay near Buddha in Venuvan. Before meeting Buddha, Amrapali assumed that he would be similar to many other famous teachers she had met, but she had never met a guru like Buddha before. His gaze was undoubtedly gentle and full of compassion. She thought that only he could understand her sorrows. The compassion dwelling in his heart had alleviated many of his sorrows. When he began to speak, his eyes were moist. "Guruji, my life is a reservoir of sorrows. Although I lack nothing in wealth and desire for material possessions, today is the most joyful day of my life. Amrapali was a renowned singer and dancer, yet she never performed her art at anyone's behest. If she didn't like someone's demeanor or behavior, she refused to show her talent. No matter how much the man offered her wealth when she was 16, she fell in love with someone, but that love affair broke her heart. Later, she met young Prince Bimbisara, and they fell in love. From that union, Bimbisara's son Jivak was born. However, nobody in the palace was ready to accept her or her son. People in the palace spread rumors that the boy was an orphan picked up from a heap of garbage on the street by Prince Bimbisara. These accusations deeply hurt Amrapali's heart. She faced a lot of humiliation and disdain, filled with hatred in the palace. Soon she realized that she wanted to remain independent and protect her freedom with all her might. She rejected living in the palace without marriage to King Bimbisara and vowed not to lose her personal freedom at any cost. Buddha gently told her that, like any other thing, beauty comes and goes. Fame and wealth also come and go in the same way. True joy comes from the peace, happiness, and freedom attained through meditation practice. Amrapali, who is still enthusiastic about life, lives it fully and takes care of herself completely. Is your personality call-inviting or pointless? Don't lose yourself in pleasure and delight. This is crucial. Buddha advised Amrapali on how to organize her daily life in a new way. Practice pranayama, sit in meditation, work with mindfulness, and follow the principles of the 5 precepts. She was very pleased to receive these valuable teachings. Before bidding farewell, she said, "Outside the city of Vaishali, I have authority over a mango grove which is both cool and peaceful. I hope you and your monks will grace it with your presence sometime. If this could happen, it would be a matter of great honor for me and my son." Buddha smiled and gave his consent. When Amrapali left, Kaludai asked permission to sit next to Buddha. The other 2 disciples also sat on other chairs. Many other monks who were passing by Buddha's hut also stopped there. Then Kaludai asked Buddha, "Tathagat, how should a monk perceive the beauty of a woman, especially one who is an obstacle in spiritual practice?" Buddha smiled and said, "Monks do not truly consider beauty or ugliness, they transcend them. The concept of beauty or ugliness is reflected in our minds. Beauty and ugliness are created from the 5 elements: water, clouds, leaves, flowers, and sunlight. The afternoon sun is beautiful to all. These yellow bamboo shoots nearby are also beautiful, but their beauty does not hinder the beauty of any woman. If someone is captivated by a woman's beauty, they can stray from the path of righteousness. When you've delved deep into the depths of your mind, you can perceive trees as both beautiful and ugly. However, if you've attained liberation from your emotional attachments, you're not bound by either of these perceptions. When a liberated individual sees a goddess of beauty, they can also see that the beauty idol is made of corruptible substances. Liberated individuals understand the impermanence and insubstantiality of all things, including both beautiful and ugly objects. Therefore, they're not captivated by beauty nor repelled by ugliness. There's an eternal beauty that never fades, which is compassion, the liberated heart. Karuna means love without desire and without expecting anything in return. A liberated heart is not bound by any conditions. A liberated heart filled with compassion is true beauty. Whenever we look into the eyes of a beautiful woman, our minds are filled with various emotions. And as we gaze into her eyes, somewhere deep down, we feel that she might not manipulate our emotions. Those emotions could be of love, of desire, of longing. If your mind is filled with only compassion towards that beauty, your mind won't hide any emotion. Because compassion means love without desire, and that love reflects from your eyes. In such a state, you can look into someone's eyes and talk for a long time. But for this, your mind has to be free from various emotions, and you need to understand your feelings. You have to catch your emotions. You need to figure out when you talk to someone. So by observing what kind of emotions arise within you, meditation gives you insight into your inner journey. That's why the deeper you delve into meditation, the more you become a witness to yourself. And then you can see your thoughts and feelings clearly. And as you start observing your feelings, they start dissolving, and in the end, only compassion remains in your heart. So, how did you find it? Do let me know in the comments section, and if you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. See you in the next story. Until then, take care and stay blissful.